Key point 1. The secret to success lies within the person, not in the outside world. According to recent research, 92% of Americans believe that society defines success as wealth, respected occupation, or stardom. Imagine for a second how much effort we spend on meeting these requirements. Ironically, this takes our flourishing future away. The same survey confirms that only 3% of Americans suppose these three components are indicators of prosperity. The striking difference, stemming from the wrong assumptions, costs us too much. Looking at success from the spiritual aspect warns us about this trap from the beginning. Approval of others is an essential and natural aim, but it shouldn't be our starting point. After closely analyzing this desire, we see it springs from the ego. The latter strives to guarantee us a high position in society to bring acceptance, power, and control. Yet, the underlying reason for this strategy is fear, which, like a black hole, always requires more proof of our prosperity, such as money or followers. Spiritual rules rest on totally different principles, which are mutual to everything in the universe. The premise for success is that instead of looking outside, we dive inside. Focusing on the inner world will enable us to be a tower of strength for ourselves, no matter how high or low we are in the career ladder or in any ratings. Therefore, success, in this case, is more extensive than having deep pockets or good physical health. It is an act of understanding our true selves and developing our abilities to benefit us and society. We'll figure out how to do it in the following sections. Key point 2. Silence is a necessary condition for revealing our potential. We regret past events or replay our previous conversations. We are apprehensive about the future and devise plans A and B. We speak on the phone while walking to save time. How can the void of our true selves squeeze through all these thoughts? Thus, the first step to adhere to the law of pure potentiality is to dedicate some time to silence. It's a challenging task, so be ready for ideas and memories starting to pop up faster than usual. We also may feel uneasy about doing things. Despite all these feelings, please continue to do it. Like circles on the water, worries will disappear and our minds will finally be silent. In these moments of peace, our true nature can show up. We start to perceive ourselves as a part of the world where everything is interconnected. If we keep silent outdoors, it significantly assists us in seeing the unity of the universe. Look at hook and loop fasteners on our shoes or jackets. This technology got its inspiration from the clinging of burdock. What humans discovered in the 1950s has already been in nature for centuries. The outside world is full of surprises, and so is our inner world. The law of pure potentiality says that we are a source of infinite creativity, and immense power exists inside us. We deserve unconditional love, so we don't need to prove anything to anyone. Love for ourselves breeds respect for others, as they also contain a whole inner universe, just like we do. Thus, no one is worse or better than us. The silence would lay the foundation for new ideas and solutions, since we let the limiting beliefs quiet down. Therefore, it is helpful to book time in our daily routine to be only with ourselves, observing the unbelieving power realized in nature. You may start from 30 minutes, then extend this period to an hour or two. Meditation and non-judgment of people or events will also contribute to hearing ourselves. These simple steps enable us to experience our capabilities. The law of giving will set them in motion. Key point 3. We first have to master the art of giving to receive. Recall the situations when a few friends came for dinner irritated. They grumbled and got annoyed at every trifle. After a while, other friends also started to make edgy comments. Eventually, all, one by one, experienced displeasure. Thankfully, virality is a capacity not only for negative emotions. Joy or kindness may also be transmitted. This story is the simplest example of the law of giving, which states that sharing generates receiving and vice versa. The interchange of energy between us and the universe should continue, except for the things that are not worth it. To increase something in our life, we need to give it to others. Laws of prosperity encourage us to treat ourselves as inborn rich people. Love, attention, empathy, a sense of humor, loyalty, ideas, and other infinite resources constitute our wealth. However, it resembles seeds. They can grow into huge forests, but we need to plant them. In other words, give them to earth. If we keep them for ourselves, they won't fulfill their purpose. Similarly, sharing what we possess enables our treasures to multiply. We can convey them in a non-material way, a joke, comforting words, or prayer. By assisting others in reaching their goals, we will find a way to achieve our aspirations. That's because when we do something for someone's happiness, the whole universe helps us to perform a good deed. However, there is one critical condition. We can't force giving. It must be wholehearted. Therefore, the reason should be a wish to cheer someone up. Many of us know the indicator of these actions. We are getting pleased and enthusiastic. Scientists have coined a particular term for this feeling, helper's high. Giving also teaches us to notice and receive gifts from life. Gratitude for listening, support, or money will contribute to our well-being. Nature is also full of presents, from sunny days to picturesque landscapes. Grasp the opportunity to replenish your account's internal bank of happiness. Did you know the etymology of words we use to designate success reveals the importance of interchange? Affluence and currency are related to the verb to flow in Latin. Key point 4. Before acting, ask your heart about the consequences. The law of karma states that our action has two results. one for those who are its beneficiaries or victims, and one for its doer. Consequently, to maximize karma's positive effects, we must raise our awareness of deeds and their outcomes. What does awareness mean? One parable tells the story of a boy who wanted to be a pupil of a famous teacher. The condition was to be conscious of what he was doing. After years of preparation, the pupil came to the teacher's house one rainy day. When the boy entered the room, he received only one question: on which side of the shoes he had put the umbrella on. The pupil didn't pass the test. This story only prompts us to remember some things we do automatically, yet it motivates us to be here and now. Many of us can recall the situations when our mother or father played with us, or read us a captivating story. It was a trifle for our parents, but a significant event for us. Engage fully in daily life's events for richer relationships, career, and self-growth. All debts will be paid. It's just a question of time. Thus, before doing something, it's reasonable to ask ourselves how our actions impact others and our lives. People get used to relying on rational arguments, but the brain doesn't know everything. Often our heart, through intuition, will immediately indicate the correctness or wrongness of an act. We need to hear it. We can change our karma for the best by helping others. Besides, finding the meaning of challenges, the lesson to learn, and the knowledge to share will make bad karma a foundation for a positive one. For example, if you break an arm while training or ice skating, you decide how to react to it. One option is to blame others who involved you in this activity, or yourself for being inattentive. Another option is to ask what the universe wants to tell you through this. Maybe you're distracted because you have too much on your plate, and your body and mind require rest. Thus, it's a sign for you to slow down. The third way to clear our karma is meditation. Key point 5. Taking responsibility for our reactions gives us freedom. Awareness is also an essential component of the law of least effort due to its capacity to endow us with freedom. Since we understand that our reactions are our choice, we aren't conditioned by the events or actions of others. It's not easy to accept, but if someone offends us, we opt for resentment. We can consider it a problem with the phone connection, a bad mood, or something else. Even assuming that the insult was intentional, we might treat it as a sign of the speaker's weakness. We choose how to interpret the events of our life. It's a skill that gives us enormous power, since with its help, we take responsibility for our lives. We aren't any more victims of emotions triggered by the words or actions of others. Now we decide what would be the object of our attention and how to use our energy. We may choose to sustain our ego, fueling it with aspirations to control others and have more power or money. We may waste our time defending our points of view in meaningless disputes on social media. However, the healthier path is to act out of love, not fear. One way to do it is to accept the events and people in our life. It doesn't mean we should treat our enemies like our friends. We just come to terms with the fact we have enemies. How does that help? After accepting it, we can do something about it. For instance, we may ask ourselves why we need these people. Others may also be the means using which the universe teaches us something. For instance, it often uses mirroring and sends people who mistreat us the same way we mistreat ourselves. When we get it, we protest, nurture self-respect, and new relationships come into our lives. There is a hidden meaning behind all events, and this hidden meaning is serving your own evolution. Deepak Chopra. In addition, acceptance helps us to avoid searching for culprits. Neither others nor we are guilty. There are different points of view, and it's normal. Besides, listening to another point of view allows us to look at a situation from another perspective, which can spark our curiosity and boost inventiveness. Key point 6. The focus of attention is the leverage to fulfill our purpose. The law of intention and desire says that two components determine the power of human consciousness. Firstly, attention can multiply objects that are in its focus. We nurture good things by paying attention to them. We make luck stay away from us by neglecting its gifts. Secondly, intention makes a change in our lives. It signifies a determination to achieve the goal without limiting ourselves to some specific result. As we will see, this feature gives us unprecedented power and distinguishes intention from desire. The fifth rule closely relates to the seventh one, the law of dharma, or purpose. It states that we are born with a unique goal only we can achieve. For this, we get a distinctive talent, something we excel in. Our first aim is to figure it out. Then we must implement it in reality, satisfying the needs of those around us. How we implement it is also peculiar, so we shouldn't look back at others to compare. Our purpose reveals when we ask ourselves the right questions. The first one is what we would do if money were not essential. The question, what's in it for me, is the internal dialogue of the ego. Asking how can I help is the internal dialogue of the spirit. Deepak Chopra. Once we've found our purpose, the intention will grow out of it. We pave the way to success by focusing on the present and directing our wishes toward the future. Here and now, there are no obstacles. We can do our best without worrying about possible threats. Since most of them are illusions, it can be a great advantage. To launch our intention effectively, adhere to the following steps. 1. Reach a state of silence. 2. Think about your aspirations and free them. 3. Refer to yourself only. Ignore the comments of others. It's beneficial not to share your innermost desires. And 4. Set the result of your intention free and trust the universe. Soon you will figure out why this is essential and how to do it. Key point 7. Trust in uncertainty unlocks opportunities. How often have we heard about the necessity of creating a plan for months, years, or even decades? It seems to organize our life and gives us a feeling of conquering uncertainty. Yet, there are also drawbacks, aside from the fact that things may not go as planned. Firstly, it limits our life to what is known, since we plan long-term on the information we have now. Think about how life has changed in recent years. We couldn't predict the opportunities we would have had 10 years ago. What if our open door doesn't exist yet, and we must wait for it to appear? Secondly, we know what we want. However, we must realize what we need. For instance, we may ignore drawing, treating it as a hobby, albeit losing track of time while doing it. After one meeting or another universe's gift, we may realize that it's something we should do for a living. All in all, there are many variables to consider while planning our life. That is why attachment to results is so harmful. It breeds expectations. They lead to disappointment if something goes wrong. In these moments, we realize that security, given by a plan, is an illusion. Now we can free opportunities of uncertainty, which a prepared schedule locked. How can we embrace this lack of predictability? One effective way is to rely on the law of pure potentiality. Remember, it states we possess infinite inventiveness. Therefore, we will surely handle everything the new day brings us. Hiding from challenges doesn't guarantee we won't face them, but it indeed deprives us of new opportunities. The law of detachment considers chaos a bundle of possibilities and a problem a seed of benefit. We never know. Maybe we didn't get a desirable goal because our destiny is to have something better. The law also says to live each moment to the fullest while pursuing our aim. This attitude allows us to relish the time when we have fulfilled it, and all the time we work for it. Moreover, we can choose the route that suits us more during the trip. Let the universe show us the whole range of benefits to choose from. Conclusion. Success is the development of our full potential. There are 7 rules to guide this process, and the journey to ourselves starts with one question about our purpose. After resigning ourselves to silence, we can hear our innermost aspirations. The law of Dharma rests on 3 components. Reveal who you are, implement your unique abilities into reality, and improve the lives of others through your actions. Other laws clarify how to do this. Applying the 5th rule, we concentrate on the present, which means that no impending obstacles can worry us, as now they don't exist. At the same time, while acting, we should consider our intentions based on a higher purpose. Still, we must refrain from defining the final result by ourselves. The 6th rule of success reminds us to let the universe be a co-author of our goal. While doing something, we need to remember the 3rd and 4th laws. Self-awareness allows us to take responsibility for our reactions and make decisions centered on considering the consequences of our deeds for others. They can be aimed at others or ourselves, but eventually both affect us, so let's choose wisely. It's reasonable to nurture the impulse of giving. Helping others achieve their desires is a gateway to activating our potential, the 1st law. We all have the immense power to change our lives and benefit society. Try this. Practice meditation daily. Note which intentions spring to your mind when the ocean of thoughts quietens. List activities that make you forget about time. Monitor the needs of your district, community, or country. How can your skills help to fulfill them, and in what way?